Hello and welcome to Live in the Hive. I'm Michelle Eagleton and you're watching the only online magazine show dedicated to theatre across Greater Manchester. Now, if you've not seen us before, let me tell you what to expect. I am here in my garden bar, The Hive, every Sunday at 8, bringing you the latest theatre news across our fair city. So if you love theatre, you are in the right place. You might be watching on the I Love Manchester Facebook page, that iconic brand dedicated to community and culture. Hello if you are, or you might be watching for the first time on our very own Live in the Hive Facebook page. A big warm welcome to you. It is quite hot in here. We are having a bit of a heat wave and I'm loving it, and hopefully you are going to love tonight's show. But what have we got for you? Yes, coming up on the show, we have got the wonderful Mike Lee from Hive North. He's going to be telling us all about a brilliant project called OutStageUs that is coming to the Lowry very, very soon. And talking of theatres, well, we've got the latest news from Greater Manchester theatres of what is coming our way, and also some brilliant announcements that have been made this week. So yes, stay with us on the show. We have got lots and lots of things to get through here on Live in the Hive. So let's kick off the show with our guest, Mike Lee, because I got to catch up with him earlier this week. He's the executive producer of Hive North. And if you're wondering what Hive North is, then of course we had to find out ourselves for you.
We're a theatre company, quite a small theatre company really. There's only a couple of us that work there permanently, but we produce LGBTQ plus theatre, so work that kind of speaks to or about the LGBTQ plus community. We started way back in 2004, and we were called Hope Theatre Company back then. And we started because Adam, our artistic director, Adam Zane, was working at Salford University, and he was doing a project with second years, the Lowry project, a production. And people said, you must do this professionally, you must put this show on. And so in order to do that, he needed a company, and he created Hope Theatre Company. And then many years later, after we'd done Be More Martin, we changed to Hive North, which is what we are today. And it kind of celebrates that idea that we are Northern, but we present work around the country. So it's about kind of saying we're not going to lose our Northern voice, but, you know, when we're in London, people know who we are. And it's just a great name that kind of symbolises our Mancunian roots, I guess.
I love that. Honestly, it's great. And we have got so much talent to celebrate. And let's talk about the talent, because OutStageUs is your annual LGBTQ plus writing showcase of incredible work. And it's coming round again, isn't it?
It is. So it's on at the Lowry in just over a month or so. And we've had submissions opened, and it's a completely open submission process. So anybody, literally anybody from around the UK can submit a script for us. They're read completely blind, so all of the details are taken off and all the scripts are given a number, and they get read and assessed for theme and narrative and story. And who they represent as well, because that's really important to us, that we try and represent the breadth of the LGBTQ plus community. And then we shortlisted 20, which were all brilliant. We had meetings with all 20 writers, and we had great chats about what their pieces meant and why they chose to write them. And then we narrowed it down eventually to these 10 final scripts. But we're really excited about that, just the breadth of what they talk about. You know, we've got stuff about British Indian culture and the expectations that puts on people, particularly if they're LGBTQ, aging in our community, queer spaces and the loss of them, and, you know, how the village has changed its face. So we're really excited about kind of putting these on stage and letting people see. And the great thing about OutStageUs is after the show, we have so many conversations with the audience members and the writers and the actors, and it just kind of sparked a real creative conversation, really.
That is great to be up close and personal to the people that are behind the work, especially when you've just seen it and you kind of have questions or you want to say, oh, that's really good. And for the writers to get that instant feedback.
Yeah, absolutely. And the number of conversations, and actually the writers linking with each other is one of my favorite things about doing this project is seeing after the show, or even before in some cases, the writers kind of really big each other up on social media and talk to each other. And I think it's a real chance for connections to be made. The word networking is kind of sometimes overused, but it's a great way of meeting other queer creatives and sort of sharing conversations and ideas about what stories to tell.
And this is a great platform for, the writer's work to be on. I mean, we're talking about the Lowry. It's going to be on at the Keys Theatre, and there's so many incredible productions that go on that stage. And for these people who, most of them may be our first timers.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
incredible.
Yeah, I mean, don't remind me that we're on. So normally we're on in the studio. So this is a big leap for us. We're really excited. It's a completely different beast almost, but we're really excited about kind of being on the key stage and sharing these stories because they're really important. And like you say, some people have never written before. Some people have written, are quite seasoned writers, or have written other types of work. But to kind of have your script on the key stage is really edifying. I think like we did Be More Martin on the key stage, and it's such a beautiful theatre. It's so gorgeous to kind of have your work in there. It's cozy even though it's big, and I think it's just a really good opportunity for writers to see their work on quite a large scale. We don't stick a load of set in there. We don't put it, so that it's almost no frills. So it's really the writing laid bare in front of an audience. And I think that's what's really beautiful about OutStageUs actually, is that it's the writer's work that really gets to shine.
And I think that's great because when you get good writing, you don't really need all those other bits. And you mentioned there Be More Martin. That was a brilliant piece of writing, a brilliant production to bring to the stage. And that was obviously about Martin Hett, who tragically lost his life in the arena attack. And that's kind of how this all started, OutStageUs, back in 2017, right?
Yeah, so it started as an LGBTQ artistic response to the arena bombing, and that was the spark that kind of created the event. And there were conversations about Be More Martin, the play, and obviously that was because there was this hashtag that was trending on Twitter, and it never ended up being in OutStageUs. Actually, it was kind of created separately, but that was why this whole thing started, and it's been going on for sort of 6 years, obviously minus pandemic years. So we've had 5 shows. This will be our 6th. And we've worked with I think it's over 100 LGBTQ plus creatives, like almost 30 writers that have seen their work on stage and presented with professional actors and, with great lighting and just as a night to celebrate being LGBTQ plus in Manchester, I think is just a really pertinent thing, especially right now.
And I think as well, you have inspired people to go off and write material from what they've seen on your stage, because one of the 10 is Connor. Now, we know Connor quite well because I Love Manchester, which this is streaming on, and he reviews for I Love Manchester, and he actually came down last year to OutStageUs and reviewed it, and lo and behold, 12 months later, he's going to be part of it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we as I said before, all the scripts are completely red blind. We don't know Connor. Well, we do now, but we didn't know Connor. So we had no idea. We just picked this brilliant script, which is about disabled people's access to spaces and how it really impacts their life and how they try to shrink down to fit into particular shapes and spaces. And it's a really, really wonderful piece of writing. And then when we announced the winners, or the sort of final 10, I looked at the names and I was doing some of the artwork for posters, and I was looking at the Isle of Manchester review from last year, and I was like, oh gosh, it's Connor, so he must have, we haven't had this conversation actually, but he must have watched last year's show and been inspired to write something. And I think that's a really wonderful journey, a kind of full circle almost.
Absolutely. And so on the nights, because it's running 2 nights at the Keys Theatre, people are going to see all 10. Is that right?
That's right, yeah. So both nights, all 10 performances.
That is amazing. And I think as well, it's a really unique piece to go and see, because you're getting a little bit of everything, aren't you?
You really are. There is L, there's G, there's B, there's T, there's Q, there's I, there's A, there's literally everything in there. And it's great because, that we try and curate it so that it represents the community, but you can't always do that because you're held to what's submitted. So it's really exciting this year that we've got so many pieces, and just some wonderful writing. And we've actually today we've had the writers on Zooms with some actors, so we've actually heard some of these scripts read aloud for the first time, and it's made us even more excited about what we're about to present to audiences.
That sounds like a brilliant night at the theatre. And of course, that's on the 14th and 15th of July at the Lowry. And talking of July, we're getting very excited ourselves for this. Yes, our very own night outside of the Hive. Live in the Hive is going to Sonata Piano and Lounge Bar, and you can be a part of it. Now, we have joined forces with Greater Manchester Fringe, which is a brilliant festival celebrating all things to do with theatre, be it comedy, drama, dance, and this is my own little Graham Norton type show where I've got some guests from stars of stage and screen. You can recognise those faces because you will know and love them. I've got Jodie Prenger, who is, of course, from the West End stage, currently in Coronation Street. And talking of Coronation Street, actually, this guy, Phil Mealy, who'll be joining us on the night, is currently starring in the soap too. Yes, you might have seen him, but of course, he's more well known for being the creator and one of the people who were in Early Doors, that cracking BBC comedy show. And then we've got the wonderful actress Michelle Holmes, who of course was in Coronation Street herself. She's also been in Hollyoaks, she's been in Emmerdale, and the brilliant film Rita, Sue and Bob too. So if you haven't got your tickets, what are you doing? Come and join us. It's going to be a cracking night, and it's all raising money for a Manchester charity, Prevent Breast Cancer. They do amazing things. So all the ticket proceeds are going to go direct to that. So head to the Greater Manchester Fringe website. You'll be able to find out how to buy your ticket through there. You just search for us and it's really, really easy. They're just £15 and we would love to see you there. But of course, we're not just about promoting our show. We are about promoting theatre across Greater Manchester. So it's time for an extended version of this. Yes, Greater Manchester Theatre News. We bring you it every single week. What's going on and what has been announced for Manchester this week? Well, despite the hot weather that we're having, we're talking about Christmas. The Royal Exchange have announced the show, which is going to be there for the festive season. From the 2nd of December to the 13th of January, they're bringing Noel Coward's Brief Encounter to the stage. Now, if you've never seen this before, the film was incredible. The play is amazing. There's wit, there's warmth. In this is dancing, and there's so much nostalgia as well. It's all about two people who meet at a busy railway station and fall in love. But it's not as simple as that. It is the ultimate love affair, and it is coming to the stage. And on top of it, this production has become a musical as well. So there's going to be some brilliant songs in there too. So something for everyone, definitely something to look forward to. And I know tickets will be on sale very, very soon for that one. A little bit further afield at Shakespeare North, they have said what is going to be winging its way to them at Christmas time. Well, this is fantastic. The Wind in the Willows. And this is a real special tribute to the late Sir Ken Dodd, because this was one of his all-time favourite books, and it's really going to captivate any theatre goers through the festive season. You've got Toad, you've got Mole, you've got Ratty and Badger, just bringing the book of Kenneth Grahame to life. It's going to be an unforgettable theatre experience, and what a brilliant theatre to bring it into, because it's in the round. If you haven't been to Shakespeare North, you definitely need to get yourself down there for a bit of a festive treat. Now, this runs from the 24th of November until the 13th of January 2024. But if you're looking for something a little bit earlier than that, well, you only have to wait until September for everybody's talking about Jamie returning to the Lowry. And it's just been announced that Hayley Tamerden will be returning to a role that she previously appeared in the West End production of the musical. Yes, you might remember her as Dell Dingle in Emmerdale or Andrea Beckett in Coronation Street. She also won the 5th series of Dancing on Ice in 2010. Of course, she'll be playing Miss Hedge. And if you're wondering what the musical is about and you haven't seen it before, then take a look at this.
There's a clock on the wall, it's moving too slow. It's got hours to kill and a lifetime to go. And I'm holding my breath till I hear the last bell. Then I'm coming out hard and I'm giving him hell. I got the dreams, I got the style, I got the moves to make you smile, to kiss my ass goodbye, cause I'm gonna be the one. And when you're all like 32, you'll all remember Jamie Lou, the kid who learned to fly. Cause baby I'm a hit, so I bet. Yeah, I'm a lit, just a bit. Yeah, what I got, yeah, you have not. You don't even know it, you don't even know it, and you don't even know it.
Great musical. I can't wait for that to make a return, and it really did make me want to get up and dance. And talking about dancing, there's also something else on the horizon when it comes to the Lowry. Oh, if you love your Strictly stars, this is jam-packed with them. As you can see there, you've got Strictly Come Dancing champion Pasha Kovlova. You've also got Grazia in the team as well. And if that wasn't enough, look, the Wanted Siva is part of this musical. So you know there's going to be some great singing and dancing. It's coming to the Lowry from the 17th to the 19th of August. So just a couple of days to catch this new dance musical. It's all about a 17-year-old girl from LA with music in her blood. And if you want to find out a little bit more about it, well, who better than the cast to tell you more?
Oh, La Bamba is, whew, it is beautiful. It's about Sophia, the lead character, and how she navigates the world, becoming a social media star, a singer, a pop star, while navigating her relationships and her family, all in a fury of beautiful dance.
La Bamba explores the idea of the 21st century world that we live in, where we can be pretty disconnected from people with our mobile phones and digital media, and it sort of looks at connection as people through music, through dance, through family.
Social media plays for her and against her. Sometimes she's celebrated, sometimes she's challenged by it, but what she discovers is she's got to become herself in order to really succeed.
It's about Latin culture and bringing people together through dance and music.
In La Bamba, audience will be submerged into this Latin flavored music. Amazing, beautiful dancing, very sexy, very energetic.
A lot of energy, a lot of dancing, a lot of great music, and a beautiful story as well.
It's been so much fun. Everyone bonding together like a fiesta. That's what we want. We want all the audience having fun.
The music is a combination of traditional folklore from Mexico, from South America, with beats from hip hop, from reggaeton, beats from rock and roll. So it's a combination of all of those worlds joining together.
We have some of the greatest Latin dancers on the planet. Erica, who's this incredible hip-hop choreographer. Graz, our choreographer, with his beautiful wife, Jada.
Audiences can expect a lot of hip movements and a lot of love.
It's been the most exciting thing I ever done.
It's a celebration of life. What more do you want?
Well, that looks pretty awesome from the rehearsals and red hot. If you want some dance action, get yourself to the Lowry website and get your tickets for that. It's only here for a couple of days. And talking about going to see shows, well, if you do want to take a look what's going on in our fair city throughout the week, you know where to head. Head over to our friends at I Love Manchester. They have got the latest there. And of course, we are on Instagram and Twitter at Live in the Hive 21. Find out what we're up to during the week. We would love a follow, and we would love you to spread the word as well, because that's it for tonight's show. But we are back here every Sunday night in the hot Hive right now, bringing you more theatre news and interviews. So have a great week until then, and I'll see you next Sunday.